Good evening and welcome to Edessa the Dark Crusade, Season 2. Tonight, we are settling into another lovely and ever so serene night in the city of Edessa. Middle of the Silk Road, well, on the Silk Road. And we see the rack, the place that is normally open for everyone to hunt, to quench their thirst, and in this marketplace, the bazaar, there's a small place that is normally frequented sometimes by, well, members of the Cainites in this city. It is known as the shop of one Omar Shadid. It is known to most of the Cainites in the city that the first floor is reserved for their kind, and conversation can be done in privacy and with no interruptions. And it is considered a place where you can mingle more openly than other places. And it is in this place, in this first floor, that we will find two kindred, Cainites, sitting at a table. Madeline, Sister Madeline, is sitting with Torvald. She is sitting reading. Actually, today or tonight, she's not. Well, she is reading, but she's also scribbling down things in a, well, not a book, but a collection of pages, parchments that is held together in some sort of a binding or something that, well, makes it a little bit more than just a pile of papers. She's just scribbling down things. Quite unusual to do this in the middle of an open area like this, but she seems to not be too focused on it, concentrated on it, for now. She sits there and she just looks over to Torvald and just says, So, now that you are back, I have not seen too much of this place, but you have been here before. What do you, I know that you prefer the outsides, but what do you think of such an arrangement in this place?
Thorvald, for his part, is laying on an arrangement of pillows. He has his pipe in his mouth, and there's a steady billow of smoke. His dog is sat right next to the door, and occasionally the dog will. It's a large pharaoh hound, black pharaoh hound, and it occasionally sort of blinks between the pair of them. Thorvald's reading a book in Latin, and he looks over to Madeline and says, "What do I think of the shop? Or what do I think of the city in itself?"
What do you think of the shop? And I mean, one of the things I have not really asked about, your clan and your normal surroundings must be very free. You do not necessarily need to watch your words. Something I have become also accustomed to.
Well, you've met my sire. I've lived between the duality of freedom and restraint. So I can maneuver in both with relative ease.
I suppose that gives you an edge. An edge your former primogen did not seem to have.
There's a sort of withered look about him when she says that. It's just like, well, Jean-Luc is no more.
Well, at least not in this city, but... Yes. She's... She just sits there. Scribbles down a little bit more. Torvald can see that she's actually looking a bit at him, quite a lot at him, actually.
He looks over. Can he read what she's writing? What language?
Doesn't look like what she's doing has been doing for the last. She's looks as though she's scribbling, but now that you take a better look at it, it doesn't look as she's really scribbling. It looks more like a drawing of some kind.
Are you drawing me?
No, of course not. I'm drawing your companion, your loyal servant. She puts on a grin as she looks at him.
He raises a brow at her. Octavius barks.
Of course I am drawing you.
He doesn't look very... He purses his lips in a sort of non-impressed way around the pipe, but doesn't offer any more protest.
She just seems to sit, looks at it for a moment. Then she returns. She just seems to flick a few pages, and then she seems to begin to read a bit more. This is clearly text she's reading now. And at this time...
Yes, at this moment, you might hear the door open as you see your clanmate, Memnon, entering the establishment.
Well, if you're just entering, you're just entering to the shop.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just into the establishment in general. I'm taking it you guys are on the first floor, as you said?
Yes, and since you're known to this, like, you will just be... Like, there will be some servants or, like, people who work in the shop will just nod at you, and you will almost, like, be ushered in if you make any gesture to it, I think.
You might see Memnon kind of grate against such treatment as Memnon feels that he is just any other patron. It's not his shop. Doesn't expect such treatment. But as entering in, you might catch a glance with him, and you might see a little bit of a hesitation in his body language, but Memnon will give you the regard. He'll approach you saying, Mr. Madeline, it's good to see you. He'll place a hand on your shoulder and say a word in the language he's trying to teach you, saying Shana.
And
when he
and Madeline will smile and probably butcher the pronunciation, but try to give an appropriate response. But it's probably going to look or sound weird.
Well, Memnon's not going to correct Madeline. He'll just nod with approval that at least you got the word. And I suppose seeing Thorvald, he'll say, Thorvald, it's good to see you again. I hope that the armor I've crafted for you is still fitting well.
Thorvald, when Memnon enters the room, Thorvald will sit up from his sort of lounging position and offer a polite bow of his head. In sort of, I mean, it's not quite a full dip, but it is a respectful nod. And he says, Memnon, well met, my friend. Yes, it does. It's been very useful.
That is good to hear. I was thinking perhaps you should chance try a pair of gauntlets if you ever find yourself without a weapon, though I don't imagine you would. It never hurts to be prepared.
No, it doesn't. Preparation is the key to success in all ventures.
Sorry, my throat was like horribly there. At this moment, the door to the is it a what kind of establishment is this for someone who's never been in it before?
The ground floor is a fairly well-to-do shop. It's somewhat above the normal, in quotes, prices. It's a fairly good and well-established and equipped shop. There is a very kindly old gentleman who will probably say, "Hello, my name is Omar Shadid," because that is what he always does, but there's not the ST here to play him. But anyways, if are you known in the city, or like do you have status in some way?
Status 3 nobility, status 4 or 5 occult.
You would very like this guy would most likely know you. Yeah, it just looks like a shop, and there is like a couple of doors, but there is a door quite close to the counter where there is like one or two seemingly just shop hands who's just standing there. But yeah, you will just be let in. They won't even they will just greet you or nod and just open the door and let you in. And then there's a staircase up and a door.
Awesome. The figure presented here will step into the shop, obviously. He will be very polite and cordial whenever he's spoken to. He will bring with him a single other individual, a woman, obviously a woman who is dressed much the same as he is. For the record, he's dressed in a kubrick of chainmail, and he's got a white silk gambitson. It's very, very elaborate. His headdress and his mask are also of the highest of high qualities. Every inch of his skin is covered with the exception of his brilliant green eyes, which almost shine from behind the mask. And the two of them will make their way upstairs.
Yeah. As the door opens, Madeline will just. She was about to say something to Memnon, having thanked him again for another thing he helped her with. But as the door opens, Madeline will just turn her head, and she will just cock her head ever so slightly, and she will stand up. Good evening. I do not believe I have had the pleasure of an introduction. And she steps over. Madeline is mid-20s-ish. Very beautiful. And she's not wearing anything lavish. She's looks like a merchant woman or someone who helps out in a shop. It's fairly dressed down, fairly common clothing. Yeah, and she just comes over to you and curtsies as she says what she just said.
Salam alaikum. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, my lady. He will offer a suitable bow.
There's the dog. There's the Pharaoh hound was sort of not guarding the door, but sat by the door as the two figures enter. Thorvald, the dog is unsure, as it's used to vampires, but it doesn't know this particular individual. Thorvald says a word in Latin, or in whatever the equivalent to Old Italian is. It means, if anyone speaks it, it means sort of come. The dog sort of goes.
Memnon would catch that.
Yeah, it means come. It's quite abrupt. Dog walks past and stands between where Memnon and Thorvald is, and Thorvald stands up. He's impressively tall for this day and age. I mean, to the point of being uncomfortably tall for buildings of this size. He's around 6'7", 6'8". He's not wearing his full armor. He's wearing sort of I suppose like a light leather armor, and it's all black. All of him is covered apart from his head, where his dark hair is shaved, and there's sort of tribal shavings on the side. He stands up, sort of to attention, but he doesn't bow. He just watches the interaction between Madeline and these two newcomers.
Yes, and Memnon, he doesn't really say anything, but once Madeleine has drawn attention to this new individual, you might see Memnon spinning around, and he'll just give, this is to you, Evan, he'll just give your character a regard as your presence is entering the establishment, but looks you up and down. You can look in the dice roller. I've performed a perception empathy. Kind of just wants to get a idea of what state of mind or emotion you might be in at this moment.
I'm not going to resist that because I don't want to. He is entirely calm, almost serene. He will incline his head to the two others in a similar greeting, and he will say, "My apologies if I have interrupted something. If it is a bad time, I will more than happily return later."
Oh, no, please. Introductions are in order. You did not interrupt anything. Please. My name is Sister Madeleine. I am Ancilla of Clan Sombra. This is Memnon, neonate of my clan, the Sombra. And this is Thorvald of Clan Gangra.
"I shall hope it is that you will ever walk in the grace of the prophets," he will say with an inclination of his head. "To answer your polite introductions, my name is Sir Lucien Chambern of Clan Bruja. This," he will denote to the side, "is my daughter Isabella of the same."
Oh, I apologize. Good evening to you, Isabella. She will just say.
She will bow politely, as there's not a GM to GMify her.
Damn it, GMs.
Please, join us. Madeline will gesture over to a table.
"I would be most delighted. The road from Jerusalem has been long and dusty."
Thorvald moves from where he was sat on the couch, or not couch, but whatever is a couch equivalent in these times, sort of like an arrangement of plush seating. He picks up his book and moves it, and goes to sit, actually he doesn't sit. He goes and stands behind where Madeline's seat is.
Both of the Bruja will advance to the table, and you'll notice something interesting that those of you who are of a martial bent will notice. They both kneel and kind of sit back on their kneeling legs. And the reason that this is done, you can assume, is in case they need to spring to their feet very quickly. But they sit in that way. It has been some time since I have been able to return home to Edessa. Unfortunately, the malefactions of the plague did so ravage such a beautiful place.
Quite so. But other truths were revealed. But it is true, it made very many things quite either impossible or very, very, very difficult. But it is behind us now, and that is good. So that old and new faces can come to us.
I am gratified to see that, though we may have walked across turbulent and shifting sands, the city has managed to as yet keep its balance and has not fallen to depravity, destruction, or despair.
Not if we can help it.
He'll kind of quirk his head to the side and adjust the mask ever so slightly with the two fingers from his left hand, and he will say, "So, what has changed since my last visit? What has, out of phrase, every city has a heartbeat, the rhythmic palpitations of itself. How has Edessa's changed of late?"
In quite a few ways. Have you heard of the tragic end of our previous prince?
I shall hope that his soul finds its way to whatever reward is allotted to him.
There's a slight scoffing noise. Not a scoff, but it's kind of like a suppressed scoff. And Thor just goes. Afterwards, he just sort of clears his throat. He's obviously on his best behavior.
Why? The plague came and took more than mortals. But, yes, a new prince, Eventru, is now leading of the city, and, well, several smaller problems have risen up ever since it. Apparently, there were some sort of resistance to the last prince, but I do not believe that they figure too much anymore with the prince dead. And from what I know, a group, quite formidable group of hunters who were outside the city are now no longer present.
Oh, I see.
Does that mean they've been dispatched, Sister Madeline?
As far as I know, yes.
Well,
Would have dispatched one myself.
hunters are a little bit like rats, aren't they? You think you've got rid of them, and then more appear.
I would not expect that every last one of them is no longer here. I would think that, yes, indeed, some of them are still around, but they do not present the threat that was presented before.
The fact that there was such blatancy in order to merit the intervention of these individuals is itself worrying.
Well, some people just can't escape notice. Thorwald says with a slightly correct brow to the mask.
Unfortunate. There will be a very casual shrug. However, I assure you, monsieur, the hiding of certain features engenders less of a response than the appearance of said features.
Well,
Thorwald wears a skeptical. Thorwald has a skeptical look about him. I mean, he's not a difficult man to read.
it is more a fact of certain people being not unlucky but careless.
Quite. We did have a infernalism problem for a while,
Exactly.
but it's been dealt with. They were dealt with appropriately.
You might see Memnon kind of like perk up when he hears that, but not necessarily in excitement, but like, what is this infernalism you speak of? Like, he doesn't understand the word.
Do I hear heresy?
Oh, speaking about heresy. Hello.
Hi.
You speak Kelsey and Max appears.
Dun, dun, dun.
While
Yeah,
Max
together.
and Saskia appears, come join us in Omar's shop.
Gufran and Irene will saunter on into the shop. and as he enters the room, he'll just say, as he like pushes the cloth aside to enter the room, he'll just say, "Did I hear gossip?"
Irene will follow a little more appropriate and will curtsy to the room.
More appropriate following.
Well, Gufram, as always, I believe that it's quite true, but perhaps you should introduce yourself if you have
No,
one.
Lady Madeline. Oh, yes, introductions. My apologies. believe Gufran and Torvald have met before, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yes,
Must have been
the two of them have been introduced. Yes.
It's been a very, very long time ago. Yeah, now he'll look over towards the individual in the mask.
There are actually two masked individuals.
Oh,
Toy.
There's a male and there's a female.
How can you tell whether they're male or female? It's just out of curiosity.
I mean, there's more than just the face to tell that you're a male or a female, you know?
Well, if
it
they're
goes
fully,
below
if they're
the
fully
face.
masked.
They're physically very slight, and the armor is designed in such a way that you can tell.
There's armor boobies in play.
That's like never mind.
Although, actually, if you've ever actually seen how chainmail falls over, I'm not gonna. I am not the kind of person to give you anime armor boobs, but needless to say,
There are certain subtle hints. Let's just.
Yeah, I mean,
that you need to accommodate for, otherwise it'll just get uncomfortable.
Fizzle jaw.
I mean, Memnon probably knows. He makes armor. But anyway.
Anyhow.
So yeah, Gufran will saunter on in with his usual sachet style, like oh. And we'll look at the two individuals and say, My apologies. Allow me the honor of introducing myself. I am Gufran Wessem, humble neonate of the clan of Set. And he puts his right hand over the left side of his chest, makes a bow.
For the sake of only having to do this once, Irene will step up as well and curtsy. And I'm Irene Argueris, neonate of Clan La Sombra.
The male masked figure will stand from where he's knelt, and he will offer a bow of respect before he will say, bonjour, salam. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Lucien de Chambon of Clan Bruja. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. Oh, and where are my manners? He will denote the person standing beside him. This is my daughter, Isabella, of the same.
I am
So-
Evan. I am going to forget your character's name. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to put up a lower third.
Oh, I can do that.
Thorvald smiles at Irene. He's glad to see that she's still going, still standing.
Somewhat.
Yeah. He's
Still
been
somewhat
away,
standing.
He's been
Yes.
away for a bit, but he's glad to see that she's still alive. He's like, woo, still living.
It's been
He does give her a
Interesting
genuine
honest.
smile. It's not one of those like Thorvald, I didn't give a shit smiles. It's a genuine, oh, it's you.
Irene will smile back as well as the Torvald, Memnon, Madeline, of course. And she'll then
Yes, she-
turn to like the new person. It's like it's been a while since we've seen Bruja here. You are very welcome.
Just to get it out the way, you know that Memnon will greet Irene with like a hearty slap on the shoulder and call you Battlekin
Oh.
again.
You're slapping a lady on the shoulder. Okay, yes.
I wonder
sure,
where
yeah,
that was
why not?
going for a moment. I was like, slap on the where?
On the shoulder.
No, it better not be anywhere else.
Yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say, like, she will choke
That's an etiquette critical hit or something. Or, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Hey, your etiquette on your side of the world is different from my etiquette on my side of the world. That's how it goes.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Under his mask, the Bruja will ruffle his nose in distaste. Or rather, he'll ruffle what's left of his nose in distaste.
Thorvald's quite amused by this.
Irene blinks.
Oh dear. Gufran will say, oh. That is one way to greet someone.
Well, let's all Thorvald sort of gestures to the fact that the room isn't all that large. Let's shall we sit?
Actually, Gufran, have you met Memnon yet?
Oh, we have acquainted with
good.
each other.
Yes, we've had our first encounter was quite an adventure, was it not?
Yes.
I
Yes,
see.
it was. And he makes a bit of a face.
I would be very interested to hear it one day.
Oh, I fell in a hole. It was great.
Thorvald pulls out the chair next to Madeline and Octavius the dog, the Fairhound. It seems fairly comfortable because it knows. He's happy around the Sombra. He just lies down. Almost similarly, Thorvald sort of very slightly leans into Madeline, like, you know, this is a bit of a stuffy environment for me.
Madeline will almost just like shoo him away. It's like tough it up, but yeah, Madeline was just like kind of.
It's not. I mean, it's not like a full lean, but it's
Yeah, I know. But
it's kind of like a slight inclination, like.
do I have to? Yes. No, tough it up.
Do I have to? And then when that exchange takes place, it's like, do I have to? Yes. And then he straightens up again and folds his arms.
Madeline will just we'll just so go from your ongoing tales of splendid adventures and quite interesting stories. What have you been up to lately? It has been some time since I have.
Oh, well, the usual, making money, creating shops, going out to save the silence of the blood. You know, the usual.
As any good member of our city should. Yes.
Why, of course, milady.
I have indeed changed since last I set foot in sweet Edessa. I ponder, Monsieur Gouffron. That was your name, yes?
It was Master de Chambrun.
I'm curious. How to phrase. I have seen the wonders of your clan in Cairo and elsewhere. What is it that you want in this place, this Edessa?
Who, me?
Oui, you?
Oh, I just want all the money in the world.
Interesting. Why?
Why would I not? Of course, so I can help the good word.
I have no doubt. My apologies. I was waxing poetic for a moment. It seems to me that there are very many of your clan here, if you will forgive my saying, mademoiselle. He will say, denoting Sister Madeline.
Yes, quite a few. Myself and my very good friend, Ulrich, Prince of Timaran, very closely. We were part of those who took it upon ourselves to make certain that our clan's honor was upheld, but it seems that we are not alone anymore in seeing to such things. Yes, our clan is quite involved. Undoubtedly, it is connected to, well, the Crusades. Many of our clans are quite involved. In more than one way, of course. Well, were, I suppose.
I understand. I am pleased to hear this. I have always found Clan Lissombra to be most attentive to their duties.
I would not hope that you had heard otherwise. But that is good to hear.
Why, of course, Lady Madeline. Clan de Sombra, after all, was instrumental in the foundation and founding of the courts of Edessa, weren't they?
Yes.
Well, I don't think anyone here could argue that each man and woman in this room has done his or her part in their duty to protecting and upholding the rights and laws of this city.
Madeline just hears this and she just looks at Gufram, but she looks directly into his eyes. She just says, undoubtedly.
Gufran sees Madeline staring at him, get a bit of a smirk on his face, and will wink at her. And the eye that he winks will turn into the eye of a snake. And then he winks again, and it's gone.
The truth as truth is seen will illuminate your soul and heal your wounds. Know who you are first and be true to yourself. You are my children all. Such camaraderie is agreeable to see.
Just a question: is that a prophecy from a particular religion that I may know about with backgrounds?
Do you have theology nautism?
I have theology, but not nautism, interestingly. So no, I would not have heard it before.
There you go.
Well, I don't know, and maybe someone with Cainite lore would have.
I mean, Thorvald's surprisingly pretty theology heavy and pretty occult heavy.
But I mean, if you know enough about Cainites,
I mean, that's something else.
I don't know, but okay. And
that would be an ST question. I just picked a picture.
No.
Totally fine.
It's a specialist area. Like, you have it or you don't, basically.
Who knows? That'll be up for Chris.
For the moment, Madeline will just look at him and just say, "You are a poet, among other things, I suppose."
He will contemplate and he will say, at the heart of all beings there are poets. It is merely a matter of finding your inner voice and allowing it to let free your soul.
I believe that is a yes. She smiles.
A very good friend of mine would have agreed with you. How'd she be present at this time?
If it is who I think of, yes. She would be swooning.
This camaraderie that you speak of, it was very, well, necessary lately. The city has suffered some great losses recently. We're building up. Without camaraderie, we would not be able to do so.
It is sometimes so easy to forget. To forget because he will tap the mask with one finger. We all wear these in a more figurative sense than literal. The mask of Gangal, the mask of Lysombra, the mask of Setites, or the mask of Set, and the mask of Bruja. But in the end, we are all as one. We all stand in the darkness together.
Well, I do hope we stand against whatever comes in the future as well, for whatever will come is going to be interesting.
I'm sure of it.
Whatever is bad for business, you can count assured. I'll be there to stand against it.
It's going to be terrible for business, good Sir Memnon.
Speaking merely for the gangrel, we wear no masks. We are as we are. And no less and no more.
I could say the same about the clan of Set, but everybody knows I'd be lying.
Claude actually laughs.
Ah, Gufran. This does
Your
remind me.
insight and honesty is always a...
Gufran will smile and say, never trust a Setite.
This matter does bring to mind, Sir Gufran. We still need to have a name for our coterie.
Oh, that we do. We shall speak to Sir Ecleos at some point to decide upon this matter. It's been several months now.
It has.
You know Sir Ecleos, Gufran.
Of course.
I had met him.
Of course, he's my coterie mate.
Yes, I met him some time ago. He provided me with some illuminations in the ways of architecture. Manuscripts, as you see. Interesting.
Lord Ecleos is very well versed in many things.
He is a wise man and knows many things. Some things that even the older members of our community do not even know.
I have to agree with that. It is always so very pleasant to speak with him.
It is always the case, isn't it, that just as the sand will cover everything in the desert, so it is that ignorance will cover everything of knowledge. Sad but true.
Do you really believe so? Do you not believe that there are some of us who can uncover, if we have the will, most knowledge?
He will lean back in his chair, and you'll see the brilliant emerald eyes flick closed for a moment as he appears to be contemplating. As he does so, you'll notice the fact that the skin of his eyelids is... That is literally the verb I'm using to describe it. Before he will say, all knowledge to be learned in a time when the knowledge is needed to be learned. However, only those who are willing to sacrifice some things that are better kept in ignorance to the spirit of knowledge should be willing to walk down that path to its end.
May I ask what land you hail from, Sir Lucian?
Oh, I was born in a very small town just outside of Toulouse. However, I have spent most of my formative years, as it were, serving on various different campaigns from England to Constantinople. And in the last 20 or so years, I find myself here in the Holy Land.
He looks to Madeline and he says, that makes sense. Frank's always speaking mixed poetry.
So
That seems to be the case.
It's delightful.
So, Sir Lucian, perhaps you have had the pleasure of meeting my sire.
Oh, and who might he be?
Prince Ulrich.
I have not as yet had the pleasure of meeting His Highness, though I am scheduled to have a meeting with him soon in order to present him with my gifts and pledges of fealty, etc.
Are you scheduling a meeting with the Prince of Timuron or the Prince of Edessa, good sir? Prince Ulrich is the Prince of Timuron, the neighboring city.
Ah, my apologies. No, I have not in fact encountered your sire. I am speaking, of course, of having a meeting with the Prince here in Edessa. However, I am sure that Timuron is lovely.
It is quite beautifully.
Evan, question. Regarding mask, how exactly is it very plain? Like, is it a generic kind of face?
It is a very generic face that you'd assume is made out of silver, or like it's definitely either that or it's plated in silver. It's very kind of it was very expertly handcrafted and is clearly very expensive, but it's purposefully plain.
Okay. If you would allow, you might start noticing Memnon approaching you and kind of like staring at you as he kind of gazes over your face, talking to everyone else. So until you say something, Memnon will continue to just do that.
He will kind of quirk an eyebrow, and he will under the mask, obviously, and he will say, "My apologies, sir, but what are you doing?"
Looking at the craftsmanship of your helm,
Oh,
your face shield. Is this a gift you keep out of sentiment?
it is a gift I wear for modesty's sake. So I do not. Well, before my embrace, he will say, I was, as a matter of fact, he will put his hand on the other kindred shoulder, the other Bruja shoulder, and he'll say, I rescued Isabel from a burning Saracen caravan, and in the process, my face was disfigured via the flames. I wear this for modesty, so that I do not alarm or upset those around me.
Thor's
Oh,
actually,
make
Thor's
me-
actually
I got-
laughing.
Oh shit, now I've got to roll a fucking frenzy check. God damn. Making fun of a handicapped person to their face. God dang it.
Oh boy.
What's the one thing that
And that funny. The fun part is that it wasn't meant like that at all. But
Yeah, I mean, he does. I mean, it's a chuckle, but it's not like a full on like ha ha.
Okay, I thought you were actually I thought you were actually
He
pointedly laughing at
he
him.
does laugh because that's because he has a point, but he's not going to interrupt someone of Clan Rasomba's discussion because they're a higher clan than him.
Okay, that's right. I thought you were actually pointing and laughing. I'm like, ha ha.
No,
That's
no,
what-
he chuckled. I mean,
ah,
he
you
laughs.
crippled bastard!
I mean,
Elder, do that to
if Memnon stopped talking, the would like he literally just takes he pulls the string or the lace that holds together the arm piece of his clothing, and he pulls it up, and anyone that's seen Thorvald not in full armor will be aware that he's pretty much burned, scarred, and whipped everywhere apart from his head. He just sort of pulls it up. Even he takes off his gloves, and even his hands are sort of you can see that it's scars and burn marks and even a brand. There's a brand on the inner part of his forearm. It looks like it's been made with the sort of thing that you brand a cow or a sheep with. Our scars and our burns and our marks are important. I don't believe that any of us can truly walk these nights and believe ourselves unmarked.
There is a difference, Monsieur Torvald, between allowing yourself to accept what has happened to you and wearing a scar with pride, and disrupting someone's meal because it is they must look upon a savage visage. There is a difference.
Only for those who are not worthy to look upon you. If you wear your scars, those things that challenge you the most with pride to the world, well, the true fools of the world would go on to scoff you.
And Memnon is, he hears everyone in the background. He'll say to Lucienne, but if you are looking for something a little bit more functional, why don't you pass by my shop? I'm sure I can make something exquisite and practical for you and your child there.
Bon, I am currently possibly in the market for certain items that you may be able to forge for me. If this is indeed the case, you and I will have a conversation at a later date. Oui?
Pass by the Smith's Guild. Just ask for me.
Absolument. He will sit back, clearly kind of, yes. He kind of has from the eyes, you can see it's kind of like a pleased cat being like, yes, yes.
Thorvald's sort of looking at the woman present. I've literally forgotten her name. Is it Isabella? Yeah.
Isabella.
He studies her for a few moments. For a few moments.
She's. I feel reticent to actually roleplay an NPC that is not.
No, I know. I'm just marking out that he is studying her.
That's fine. She has a Saracen saber on each hip that are both in beautifully anointed scabbards that both have silver and jeweled handles on them. That's about the most interesting point there. She's also wearing chainmail.
He's not interested in that.
Okie dokie.
He studies her eyes. There's a marked expression of curiosity, but I mean it lingers for a few moments before he diverts his attention back to the rest of the room.
I'm curious, Monsieur Gaffron. You said that you are avidly in search of collecting the currency of the world, right?
Yes, that is something I'm very interested in doing.
What line of business do you find yourself in?
Oh, I sell the most wonderful carpets of Odessa.
I see.
And pillows. And cloth these days.
Very interesting.
Is it not? They're wonderful, specific, beautiful. They capture my unbeating heart with such grace. There's so much bullshit, you don't even have to roll it.
I myself sell books, scrolls, artifacts, things of that nature.
Really now?
Absolument.
What sort of books and artifacts do you sell?
Whatever I am able to find. At the moment, I am currently importing biblical texts from Europe, from some of the great monasteries. Works of art as much as works of literature, you understand.
Of course.
As I've said, I know that many of the...
Sorry, Evan, I'm going to have to make a subterfuge check with that one, because there's so much shade behind that, of course. I feel it's necessary to roll that.
Okay, I will feed you. What could possibly go Auspex? Sorry, on the side note, I like that. What could possibly go Auspex?
Oh,
fine.
poof.
I've got 5 successes.
Watch me roll my mighty dice pool of like not many. Actually, no, he's not terrible at this. This is like my God, Evan built a character with empathy. Tell no one.
There.
I know, right? If you whack on Auspex, it's -1 on perception rolls, isn't it? It's been years since the vampire.
It's what are the rules with this? Isn't this when you roll like wits empathy to try and spot lies?
Perception, empathy, I thought still.
Is it still perception empathy? Okay.
I don't know. What can I say?
Yes, don't tell me what to do.
You're welcome.
God damn it.
From the islands you pull from the sea. God damn it! No, I'm doing. But as I said, I just it's in the back of my head that Auspex gave a -1 diff on fucking perception rolls. I could be wrong. Checking Auspex because it's a thing. We apologize for having technical difficulties.
I mean, did you have it activated?
That's fair. Fuck it. I'll just roll the pool. Nope.
So it's just
Sure.
like, of course I know.
He will smile and he will say, "Excellent. I shall have to put a copy aside for you. My gift, of course."
How
Does he
cunning.
He believes you're being totally genuine.
Yes, because a follower of Set is absolutely genuine when it comes to the Bible.
I mean, know thy enemy? It could be a thing.
Blech. Blech. Yeah, no, he'll say, "Oh, how kind of you, Master de Chambrun."
I have known many of your clan through the years, and they always have similar interests to my own when it comes to things of the relevance of the discovery of the lost past and the re-examination of supposed truths.
Mm. Then we shall be rivals.
I'm always happy for a friendly rivalship, Monsieur Gouffron.
It would be my honor.
He will extend his gloved hand.
He will extend his own hand and shake it.
Shaky, shaky.
I imagine you have a lot of potence applied to the hand.
I'm not actively going to be that dick, but he has a very, very firm handshake.
That's fair. It's like, ha.
So wait, hang on. You gave me a hand. What did you get back? Some kind of needle pointer. How did that work?
Death.
Yes.
Please don't kill my co-3 mate.
Yeah.
But yes, as I said, I'm a man who sells books and documents, papers, other esoteric items. If any of you ever have interest, please, I am more than happy to help facilitate anyone's learning. He mentally categorizes, in the case of Torvald, must teach Torvald to read first.
Well, when you entered the room, Thora was reading a theology book in Latin, so.
Dang it! All my misconceptions.
Your misconception, sir. How dare you? It's racist. Joking.
That is clanist.
It's clanist. I'm not as stupid as I look, but maybe I want you to think I'm stupid. Deception.
I am
Oh,
as stupid as I look. Yay! Wait. No, I did say that right, I think. So, when have you arrived in the city?
I have only recently arrived yesterday from Jerusalem. I was staying there when the plague struck and felt as though it was wise to keep my head down until such time as it had abated, and so I returned home.
The plague struck in Jerusalem.
No, when the plague struck here, I decided to stay in Jerusalem.
Fair enough. Wise decision.
I
Have there
come,
been any irregularities in Jerusalem?
not that I am aware of, but then again, I spent most of my time in a very select group of company. I was horrified, however, when I came back to see how dark the city had become, so many lights not burning. The plague truly did horrendous things, no?
Indeed. Let's hope we can all work together and rebuild the city. It's going to be a difficult path to walk, but I'm sure we can all help and build the city back to its former glory, or even better.
Of this, mademoiselle, I have hope. We shall see what it is that night shall bring whenever day washes away the sin of old.
I'm not quite sure if the day would be strong enough for that quite yet. There's still a lot of things going on in the city.
I agree. I must say, if I did not know better, I would say that your sire is beginning to rub off on you.
Ah, that would be a compliment, Lady Madeline.
Hmm. Well, I would say that there is certain similarities in the way you talk. And the somewhat pessimistic outlook on things, but oh well.
Ah, a lot of things that are happening in the city are worrying me. But I must say, it has been quiet on many other things, which I hope will remain.
Such as Lady Irene.
Well, those who were responsible for the plague have not taken any action, and we do believe that they've left the city.
Oh, they have.
Not entirely.
Hmm. And what makes you say that? I wonder.
Mm, rumors and gossip, Lady Madeline. Or perhaps the feeling, I don't know.
Madeline clearly raises an eyebrow at that.
Yeah, I will roll my subterfuge there. Ay.
I guess I'm interested in this too.
I mean, you even know, so. Oh,
I just like rolling. I just like rolling a stat that I never have.
I have 4 successes.
Damn it!
Oh, wow. Buy my bullshit, bitches.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time the subterfuge roll works so well.
Eh. I'm so used to playing a member of House Dougal with my 1 dice of perception empathy. Fucking hard.
Hmm.
So I guess perhaps Lucian thinks that there might be just a little bit more to Irene's words, but yeah,
He's just sitting there, Bruhan. That's how it works.
to the Bruja.
That needs to be a vowel to Bruhan. But he will say at this point, as he will look around at the collective and he will nod his head before he's going to stand up, and he will say, Madame de Monsieur, it has been a great pleasure to make all of your collective acquaintances. I am most overjoyed that it is the city has fallen to such capable hands to see it and shepherd it through the darkness into the new dawn, as it were, if you will forgive the pun.
Well, we work as best we can, Master de Chambon.
Of that, Monsieur Buffon, I have absolutely no doubt. He's got your number. He's just like,
Who knows what are they up to today? Why do they breathe in that direction?
I forgot. I'm sick to have forgotten my wallet, my pouch. Gufram, would you perhaps be able to lend me? She seems to just, in her head, just small amount. You will get it back, of course.
Gufran will look at you, and there's the face of shock and horror almost on his face.
As Gufran is having his to and fro, Lucian will simply remove a pouch from his belt and place it down, saying, My gift, there's no need for repayment. As he's walking towards
that I cannot accept. Perhaps, but
No, Thorvald does not.
Memnon will speak up and
money
say,
thing going on? Like, what is she trying? What does she want money for? Did I miss something?
Memnon will speak up and say, "Oh, but Sister Madeleine, please, after all your help in the recent nights, let me."
Oh, I seem to be surrounded by goodwill and gestures. I must say I am quite taken aback. And actually, Madeline will take a little bit from some of the people offering, but she will try to not be in any way like getting on anyone.
I'm gonna make a subterfuge roll.
Is this to steal the rest of the money?
my amazing 4 dice.
And I will roll it as well. 5 successes.
Thor's not very happy. I mean, he's not like my fist is down on the table, but there's something about this that bothers him.
You getting all this money, bitch?
Getting that paper.
Paper. Sorry.
Paper.
He stares at all the coins on the table as if he wants to sort of throw them onto the floor. He doesn't seem the gesture seems to have displeased him in a great way.
The gesture of giving or the gesture of asking for money?
The gesture of giving, it seems.
Interesting.
God damn it, 6 points of my path, which meant I had to help someone in need. Waves fists.
I kind of like it. It seems like it's insulted him in some way, but I mean the reasons are unclear. He doesn't act out. He doesn't say anything, but there's a definite ripple of displeasure.
If I may, let me make a peony on that real quickly. 7, 1 success. Okay, maybe I see Thorvald bristle a little bit.
Yeah, you do see that he tenses. He stares at the coins.
Hmm. I kind of want to peony Madeline.
How many successes do you have?
None yet, because it's after all. 2.
I have 5. So
Nice. Yeah.
she actually, Madeline is smiling. She seems to enjoy the fact that people are just like, oh, I'll help you. I'll help you.
And
Seems
Thorvald's
to,
very much not enjoying it, and the more Madeline seems to enjoy it, the more he seems to get annoyed.
I mean, I'm kind of sitting here going, but my path says I have to. But he will casually actually no, I'll peony Thor.
It's not just particularly Lucian. It's like everyone.
Oh yeah, I know, but he's just that kind of bitch that if he knows, he'll ask what the issue is. Give me a second. 3 successes. How many did you get on your subterfuge?
1. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you can tell he's annoyed. I mean, specifically what? Like
He will.
it seems to be all the people putting stuff on the table that has bothered him.
He'll casually turn on his heel. He has his hand on it because you know when you wear a long sword, it kind of hangs at roughly about roughly about a height with your hand. So he has his hand on the back of his sword. He's not like it's not like to draw it. It's just because that's where it happens to be, and it's comfortable to put your hand on the back of them. And he will say, "I would ask, Monsieur, if you have some issue with a act of goodwill or generosity."
He doesn't even look like he really registered that Lucian hadn't left. He kind of looks up. No, sir, I do not.
Oh. Mademoiselle Madeline, it has been my pleasure to make your acquaintance.
oh, likewise.
Monsieur Gouffon, I have no doubt that you and I will be seeing much of one another. I shall luxuriate in our time together.
It would be my pleasure.
And with that, he is going to bow to the rest, and he will step outside and depart.
Thorvald takes the opportunity to stand. Like he takes out of a pouch some like, I mean, it's not tobacco because we don't have tobacco yet. Whatever the equivalent was, hashish. Puts it in the pipe and lights it. Sometimes some jobs just don't get finished, do they?
Perhaps they do, perhaps they don't. Then it's up to others to finish them, is it not?
Some people's jobs are never done. Good friend.
Oh, well. Why take on such a job?
I've asked myself a similar question.
Is your job then ever finished, Gouffon?
Mine? Oh, yes, obviously.
At the end of a work night.
Well, at the end. Yeah, that's what, yes.
Thorvald puts his boot on the. I mean, it's quite easy for him to lift his leg to the table level. He puts his boot on the table and he says, "So, what do you propose on doing with all this generosity, my love?"
I simply need to purchase a few things for the home, and seem to have forgotten that at home. Oh, that is right. Probably Gutria. Oh well, it matters not. It is simple. I shall hope to repay it once I have the opportunity.
And I wonder what the interest will be.
Yes. Just out of curiosity, did Gufram offer anything?
No.
So
he kind of had a blue screen of death when you asked him for money.
Which is specifically why Thor's not salty at Gufran. He's just like, Gufran's fine. Like,
On a side note, because this might be important, Lucian gave you his resources 5 walking around money.
That's
yeah.
a lot of money.
What we're gonna do is Thor's gonna pick that up. Unless anyone tries to stop him.
Madeline is just going to smile at him. She'll just look at you and just...
I think that our honourable friend Memnon's offer is more than dutiful for our household resources. He sort of chucks the gold in his hand. I think this can be put to better use.
It would be wise to invest any surplus of gold. Did you have it?
Quite.
What an interesting man, Master Chambrun. Handing out so much money.
Quite.
Saving women from burning Saracen carriages. I'm sure his honour cannot be questioned.
Gufran feels a little sickness coming up. It's just like, ugh, righteousness.
Yeah, Thor's been feeling sick since about like minute 1. Because just all this righteousness.
And
like,
everyone here can see that Madeline is just getting seemingly more and more happy. Like she seems to be just...
She's loving it. Thor's not very... The more Thor looks annoyed, the happier she is.
Yeah, there's
What a
definite
dysfunctional relationship,
that
guys.
like, despite my successes, people can probably pick up on a certain correlation. Just saying.
Well, then, I have to go and see if Amar is here, if you will excuse me. It's been a wonderful night. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you all again, especially you, Lady Madeline. Oh.
Likewise, Mufra.
So, Gufran,
Yes, Irene.
I would like to catch up with you soon, if you have some time.
Absolutely. We could catch up right after I've searched for Omar.
Of course.
Tell you what, my lady, you could join me.
Well, I would not want to interrupt your business.
Oh, wow. That's fair. So much concern for me. Well then, I will politely excuse myself. Da 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 da.
I was gonna be.
Next. Point as I have the button and my time is kind of...
Does he actually walk out like that?
He does.
At this point, as my time is kind of drawing on and people are asking me for ref calls for another game, do you mind if we outro?
Yes.
Because I have a button.
Right.
Standard. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been my inaugural season in Odessa by Night, where apparently fuck honor, fuck everything about honor.
Ta-da!